Today is the 23rd of October 2023, and this will be our second lesson on bearing. Okay. Before I begin, thank you to everyone who has been watching our videos. Please subscribe, share, like, and follow us. Okay, I would really appreciate it, and I appreciate your help on that. Thank you very much. I normally write in the comment section. Please follow my notes/script. Okay, this will help you a lot, because if you are just listening, assuming I made a mistake, for instance, assuming we are doing, I have to say 145 and it comes out as 14 or 140, you wouldn't know. Okay, but please follow the notes. Okay, for instance, this is 008 degrees. We are talking about bearings. So assuming I said 8 degrees, you know that bearing is supposed to be in 3 figures. So actually it's 008 degrees. Okay. Thank you very much on that. Could use your help in that. Now, beware of scammers. Okay. If people are sending you friend requests and saying that they want money and in the name of this platform to donate to orphanage or whatever story they might come out of, it's not coming from here. So beware of scammers. Thank you very much. Recap. We started looking at bearings. Okay. We said its angles measured clockwise from the north. Okay. Angle of bearings are always written in 3 figures. Okay. So for instance, if you have 25 degrees, you will write it as 025 degrees. So these are some examples. 8 degrees, you write it as 008 degrees. 100 degrees, you write it as 100. It should always be in 3 figures. And remember, it is like a full circle, so it ends at 360. So you can't have a bearing like 415 degrees. You can't. Okay. 275 degrees in 3 figures. 3036 degrees. So this is 36 degrees. But assuming you were writing it and doing a bearing work, it would be 036 degrees. So remember, your angle is always in 3 figures. Now we look at some examples. Okay. Please refer to last video. It will help you a lot. Okay. Now let's look at this example at the recap. And then I said to you that bearings, you can see it as a 4 quadrant. So if you look at the 0, any angle in this quadrant will be from 0 to 90. 000 degrees to 090 degrees. Okay. From this 090 degrees to 180 degrees will be in the second quadrant here, this portion. From 180 degrees to 270 degrees will be in the third quadrant. And then from 270 back to 360 will be in the fourth quadrant. We measured bearing from point B to O. So assuming this is your origin and you want a point, for instance B, you measure from point B to O. So even though this is O, you are going to measure from this to there. So this bearing here is measured from clockwise, okay. So if you can see first quadrant, second quadrant, so this bearing here will be more than 180, okay. The angle here is 208. So from here to there, and is from here all the way to there. So this is about 28 degrees. So if you measure 28 degrees from this one and add it to your 180, you have the 208. Okay, remember we are measuring from point B to F. We are measuring a point. Measure the bearing of point B from O. So we measure bearing of point B from O, but it should start from the north 0 all the way around. Now for our starter today, let's practice using the protractor, because with bearing you have to use your protractor, okay. And this is a protractor, okay, that is a protractor. This is a 180 degrees protractor. You can have the one that has the full circle, which is the 360, okay. But at the moment I have the 180, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. How easy it is to use this protractor to measure, okay. So now it says draw an angle 030 degrees, okay, 3 figures from the origin to point B, okay. So now this is the north, and that is the origin, and that is A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 30 degrees. So if I have my protractor here, okay, and I put it on the line, okay, which is now on the line, okay, you can see that that is 30 degrees there, okay, there, the line here. So that is my angle 030. I've written it in 3 figures from the origin to A, okay, and this is in the first quadrant, okay. So immediately I see the 0.30, I know everything I have to do is here, okay, it's in that quadrant here. Draw an angle from O to point B of 295 degrees. Again, it's 295 degrees. We measure clockwise. Okay, so now 295 degrees. Our first quadrant is from 0, 0, 0 to 095. Second quadrant 90, sorry, 090. Second quadrant is from 090 to 180 degrees. Okay. Third quadrant is 180 degrees to 270. Now we are asked to measure 295 degrees, so it will be in the fourth quadrant. So whatever we do, our measurement will not be here. It will definitely be here. So we know that here is 270. So we come here, put our protractor on the line, and then we measure 295. Now we have 270 here, so we only have 25 difference. So if I put it closer, okay, 270, 280, 290, 295. Okay, so from the origin all the way to this line is our angle. Okay, so we've drawn the angle from point O to point B of 295 degrees. So that is point O and that is point B. B can be any point on this line. Okay. Now today we want to go a step further and want to look at some bearing examples. So after what we've just practiced, okay, and the recap we've just done, let's look at some examples for today. Okay. Bearing at times, because of the measurement and the language, it can be a bit confusing. So that's why I'm taking my time to explain, okay, because they are easy angle questions where you could draw or you will look, or they will ask you to find the bearing of maybe a town from another town or from a point to another point. But you need to understand the wording, okay? So let's look at this example here. Okay, O is due north of P. Okay, so let's do it line by line. Okay, so O is due north of P. So that is O and that is P. O is north of P. So as you can see, I've drawn a straight line and then I've put O in the north of P. Okay, that is the first line. Now, I won't be giving that, but with this in mind, I know that from here to there is 90. 090 degrees. From here to here is 180 degrees. From there to there will be my third quadrant, which is 270 degrees. And from there to there, back to the north, is my fourth quadrant, which is 270 to 360 degrees. Okay, we did this in the introduction. Go back and watch if you didn't get it. But Q's bearing from O is 123. Okay, so we've been told O is not of P, so we've done that. And Q bearing, so Q bearing is 123. So we are going to draw 123, okay, degrees from O. So if we draw that, we know that 123 should be in the second quadrant, because the first quadrant is from 0, 0, 0 to 0, 9, 0. So 123 will be in the second quadrant, which is from 0, 9, 0 to 180. So let's look for 123. So this is my protractor again. Okay, let's zoom it and see what we can do. Okay, so that's the middle part. Okay. Now I want 123. I know that this is 90. Okay, so from 90, 100, 110, 120, okay, let me do it this way. Okay, so I have 90. Okay, so from 90, what I did was, this is my 90. Okay, there. So from 90, 100 there, 110 and 120. Okay, let's try again. So that is 90. Okay, so that would be 100. 90 here, 100, 110, 120. Oh God. We'll get it right because I measured it and it was 123. Okay. You can also go and do it at home. Okay, yeah. So 90 here, 100, 110, and okay, let's assume this is 123. Okay, so 123. Then they said Q's from P is 50. So if this is 123, okay, now we need to measure 50 from this point, and it will be in the first quadrant here. Okay. So if we get that right, that will be 50. So now we have two lines. Where it intersects will be our Q. Okay, so assuming this angle is 123 degrees and that angle is 50. Now we draw a straight line from the point O to we draw a straight line, and then we find the angle 050. Draw another straight line. Where it intersects will be our Q. Okay, remember this is 123. I'll ask you to go and draw it. So 123 and then 50. Where they intersect will be your Q. Now let's look at another example. O is due north of P. Okay, so O is due north of P. Again, I'm using the same letters so that we don't get muddied up and get confused. Okay, so O again is north of P, so that is P, that is O. Okay, but Q's bearing from O is 067. Look at it again, 67 degrees, but because its bearing is 067 degrees. So now let's look at it and see if we will get 67 degrees. And 067 will be in our first quadrant. Okay. So now if you look at this from 0, okay, it's not quite, but it's past this is 065. So it's near, it's about 067 degrees, that one. Q's from P is 051. So now we know that Q will be on this line here, but we want to measure 051. So we come to P. Here we've not been told the distance, so we've just chose any point on the line. And then even though we don't have the full circle, we know that 051 will be in our first quadrant. So here again, if you look at it, okay, so 051, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, so about 51. Okay, so now we have two lines, and where they intersect will be our point Q. Okay, I'll ask you to go and draw this again. 123 degrees and 050 degrees. Okay, try and draw it. Now let's look at another one. 0 and O is due north of P. So I draw again north. You remember we measure bearing from the north, and we measure clockwise. Okay, but the bearing of Q from O is 211. Okay, so now Q from O is 211 degrees. Okay, so from here to here is 90, and then 180. Okay, so 211 will be in the third quadrant here. So if that is 180, I need to add, so let's zoom in and see what we get. Okay, so that's 180. Okay, that's 190. That is 200. Okay, so 211 is about 211 here. Okay, so if I draw this angle all the way from the origin, that will be my line. So I draw the first straight line. Now I want to find where they intersect. If they say that P O is due north of P by 5 centimeters, then I'll do that. Okay, here I've not been told how long, so I've just chosen any point on my line to start drawing P. Okay, now Q from P is 255. So here again, from 180 to 270 will be in the third quadrant. Okay, so now 255. So this line here is 180. That line here is 180. Okay. Now, because I don't have a 360 protractor, I'm going to use my 180 protractor. And if you've been using it, you should be able to do it. Now, let's put it at the center. Okay. So, I need to measure 255. So if this is 180 here, okay, that will be 190. Okay, 200, 210, 220, 230, and then 240. So 180 again. This is the line I want. Okay, so 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240. Okay, so assuming this is 255, this line here, so where they intersect, okay, will be my point Q. Okay, I would like you to go and draw this once. Maybe because it's not actually up to scale. So, but the point I'm making this morning is you should figure out the quadrant where the angle is and be able to draw the angle. Okay, so this is 211. We know that this line will be 180. So I should add about 40 to get my 211. That is 180 again, and I want 255. So I should add 75 to get my 255. All the time, I have to try to measure from the north all the way round. And where the lines intersect is where my Q is. Okay. Even though my diagram is not to scale, I would like you to go away, use your protractor, and draw yours to scale. Okay, draw yours to scale. So this is the first question. I'm pausing so that you can look at it and draw. That is the second one. Okay. And that will be I think, the third one here. Okay. That is this question. Okay, so this is the first one. This is the second one. And that will be your third question. Go back and draw them. It will help you a lot. Use your protractor, even if it's not to scale. Okay, try and understand that under exam condition, if they ask you to draw, you have to draw to scale. And one of the things that will help you is to figure your bearing in 4 quadrants. Okay, so immediately you see 2 to 1, you know that you are going to be getting a line in the 3rd quadrant. Okay, you can also get a line in the 3rd quadrant and then maybe an angle in the 4th, and maybe they might give you the measurements of P from O. Okay, and then you use that, separate them apart. I haven't been given a measurement, so I just choose any point on my line, assuming this is my north. Okay, and I did all my measurements clockwise, and all my angles are in 3 figures. Okay, that is the most important thing. So I would like you to watch this video again, do the examples I've brought, and try and understand the language behind it. Okay, that will also help you a lot. I think tomorrow I'll bring more bearing examples so that we can have a look. And then I'll bring a recap so that we can have a look again, and then continue and do a bit more examples so that we can understand it properly. In case a question comes, then you'll be able to know what to do, because bearings are very, very easy to do. Guess that using the protractor and the exam condition, you have to understand the language that they are posing you, and you have to understand which is from which point is from which, and measure it accordingly. Okay, so thank you very much for watching today's lesson, and I'll see you in the next.